Easy peasy, guys. Whoa. Welcome back, guys, to another amazing stream today. Yes, another tech stream, bro. And guess what? I improved things a little bit. Check this out. Check out the quality on this. My mouse can move really good. And if I open my shells, pop open my shell, IP80DR, show E tab. I got us a connection without dropping the Wi-Fi on the other one. Had to do some fun stuff to do that, but I got it to work somehow. A lot of troubleshooting went into that yesterday. So now that's done. So now we can actually do stuff today, and I really don't know what I want to do yet. Because I was like, well, yeah, we could do the terminal stuff, but then I was like, well, I don't even have a cross compiler. Bro, maybe I should just not use Arch Linux, bro. I'll end up compiling everything myself because AUR is a big bed. Anyway, let's make a project today. Let's make our own terminal GUI renderer. I actually don't know really how that works. Well, actually, let's just go open my other project and see if I can get it to compile. cd desktop /d/tools. Oh god. Yeah, get rid of that thing. Bonk. ls. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and try compiling. So yesterday we got to the point where we were doing dub build, and then we do -- compiler equals ldc2, and then our other thing is going to be -- arch equals arch64. So here's where things get interesting, is that it's not the cross compiler isn't correct technically. I want to set the terminal color to 2,3, and so trying to cross compile this, something is wrong with it. Something with the linker. It's using LD, so I need to figure out what the correct linker would be, which is going to be inside of here. So what we need to look at is LLVM cross plat arch linker, because that's what we need. LLVM is the backwards, or is the one we're using. Why are linkers such a big deal? I don't know about the file size aspect of linkers, but they are a big deal because they figure into the total build time of an application. There's the BFD/gold/LD linker, which is kind of slow. There's LLD, which ships with LLVM, which is about 10 times faster, and now it's working on a new linker called Mold, which is 10 times faster than LLD, so 100 times faster than the OG linkers. Which means taking several minutes to link something huge like Chromium versus a couple seconds. God damn. That's pretty cool. I like that Reddit post now. Chimera Linux is built off of LLVM, by the way. Pretty sure that's what their entire thing is. But I use Arch, so I wouldn't know. It's terminal. This just means we need to fix what the linker is doing. I wonder if we can even use LD with Arch. LD Arch? What's up? Bro, why did it take me straight to AI? That's not what I want. Arch 64 LD. Day 2 of asking for the code. Arch 64. Really? Do I have this? LD the GNU linker. Maybe it's just because I'm trying to build it with DUB though. LD accepts linker command language files. Oh, this is actually a good manual page. The other one I read was kind of painful. Supported. This tells us. GCC, which is the GNU compiler for C. Audits architecture. Here we go. But like, I mean, we're passing Arch, the architecture to it. So if we're passing the architecture through DUB, maybe I just have to manually compile it myself. You know, that's actually a good idea. CD into source. I should just have app.d, and then I can just LDC to DUB. But let me or not DUB, LDC to app.d. But I need to check the actual syntax for this as well. Manual. Yes, manual for this. LDC and LDC2. These are good. ARM developer has good stuff on it. LDC or LDC2. Oh wait. From memory to coprocessor. That's interesting. I have no idea when we're gonna need that, but that might be useful someday. LDC is available in all versions of ARM architecture. Is it available in ARM v5T and above? Bro, how old is v5 even? Anyway, LDC2 is amazing. But this is not really a lot of information, I don't think. LDC2. This will probably be applicable. I think LDC2 is almost the same as LDC. D to generate documentation. What the hell? By the way, this is built off of the LLVM chain, pretty much. And it probably, yeah, also, it's gonna follow the same, some of the same syntax as what we did when we used GDC. So GDC, you could pass the -L flag, but there wasn't an equal. You would just pass -L to link to a library. G to generate debug information. This is, okay, here we go. So you could technically, yeah, you would just pass March for that. Now, if you had multiple, you'd have an output file too. Let's see if we can just ldc2 app.d. Unable to read module terminal. Oh, actually, you know what it is? We don't have the rsd terminal. So we gotta actually, we could pull the rsd terminal from there and just compile it together. Or is that not how that works? Actually, we could do that, but I don't know if it's like a dynamic. Well, I think it should be a static library or a module of some kind. I think it's more likely a module than anything. But I wonder why exactly this is occurring when we try to use DUB. Let's not even try to build with LDC. Let's go back, circle back to that. Why the hell does this happen when I even pass up the flags? I pass up Arch, performing debug using Arch 64 hard flows. Maybe I need to pass up a linker flag to tell the linker it also needs to be Arch. Or I need to pass the linker variable. I actually don't know exactly if we can do that. DUB pass linker arch 64. Let's see. Platform selections. Here we go. Technically, we could just specify it in the DUB, but I don't want to do that necessarily. Ah, here we go. So yeah, if you use the arch flag, it translates it to each of these, technically. However, there's only arch64 here. Oh wow, it doesn't accept the ARM platform here. What's ARM thumb? That's interesting. Only work in LDC using triples and can be converted to lowercase. So here's -LD classic. Oh, okay. So we could technically just change our, Oh, I think I understand now. So if you have LF, so you would have to have, in your DUB JSON, you go, okay. Let me open a file. Desktop, dtools. Which one was it that we're working on again? TGUI. DUB JSON. This is where, that's not where anything happens. Nope. DUB selections, I think. Well, actually, no, it does happen there. You should write your own OS in D-Line. Oh, I was working on that at one point. It's really beyond me at that point. You see, you have to do stuff to initialize the runtime, and I'm like, how do I even get started with this? Like, how would why would I even do it anyway? Like, if we, the whole point of an OS is you have, like, scheduling and stuff, and I'm like, well, like, if we just use the D runtime, what's the point in even, like, we'll just have garbage, that's like the entire thing, it just garbage collects. So there would be no point in even initializing that, or like even bothering with that. You just have to have the GC off. So why would you even use D for it at that point? I mean, maybe for like a familiar syntax. And that's if you can even get the other things to work. It would be fun to revisit that project, but like, I'm taking a break from that one. I might come back to it later. So for Mac and x64, let's see about LDC. Oh wow. Here we go. Oh wait, this is compiler code. What the hell? Is this written in D? This looks like D to me. I think they wrote DUB in D-Lang. Bro, this is DUB right here. Arch flags, bro. So LVC accepts, yeah, and also accepts PowerPC 64. I don't have anything PowerPC, I don't think. That'd be cool to own. See the D-language reference. Notice that the version names should be converted to lowercase. I'm still not sure how I would do this though, because you would pass it and then I just need to pass a linker flag, honestly. But yeah, you could technically do that. Let's see if there's a section about linkers. Environments, variables. Let's check that. Environments, root environments. D flags. DUB path. DUB, D flags, L flags. What? I actually don't know what L flags are. I should read about those too. Maybe linker flags, maybe? I don't know. Linker flags, probably. There's a lot of stuff here. DUB, root package, D flag, L flags. Libs, import paths, which you can use a pragma for those, I think. Target type, build mode, build path. I think I read canonical somewhere. Canonical name for, oh, I was like, is this Ubuntu? Where's canonical coming from today? So yeah, this thing exists. Arch. Bro, what? Oh, I was like die.net, what the hell? But no, it's Arch 64 LD. It's manual page, internet. This is not entirely. Oh, target types. Those are like when you build it. I guess we could target and build as an executable. It just wants to link though. How do I set that to not be? Let's just search for linker. L flags? Yeah, things you pass to linker, it looks like. Yeah. That's cool. Maybe D flags are dynamic. Build settings, DUB, lint. Build, run, test. Dust mite, L flags. Bro. Can specify that a set of build setting using build equals XYZ, and then it just refers to build types. Oh, okay. Let's go back. So, dub dlang set linker. Ah, so you would pass a D flag. Whoa. Links the compiler, so it basically just runs DMT flags files to link. And in the DMD documentation, you can see that it just runs GCC. Oh yeah, it runs LD technically though. It's the linker it uses. There's an environment variable called CC that can be used to select which C compiler is used. So, is there any equivalence for selecting the linker? LD perhaps. -XCC equals -fuse -LD in the DMD command line. We're just gonna do export CC equals let's try that. Export CC equals CC and then go from there. We want to do -fuse LD. What do you say again? -fuse LD equals LLD. Oh, that's the one that's really fast, apparently. But we're gonna use the LD GNU GC thing, or the fuck, the GNU ARch. I hope I have this one present, otherwise it's gonna explode when I do this. But paste that. All right, so now we should be able to hit enter. If I can go ahead and do this again, and it makes it to there. Unrecognized command line option. Ooh, interesting. Wonder what that means exactly. Unrecognized command line option? I should have a linker for that one though. I'm surprised it doesn't just default to the linker that it needs for the job. And you have to like actually specify it. I think we're gonna have our best bet is to read what this says, I think. Specified linker flavor names such as BFD, Gold, LLD. Oh. Never mind. Let's redo that. So we can only use LD. I guess. Let's try that again. Alright, DUB build. LLD. Oh, okay. So it's technically called LLD, I guess. Let's try that again. Incompatible with ELF x86-64. Right. Oh, so the LD from the regular one was kind of working? Interesting. This is really interesting. wonder if there's a valid, why am I gonna type in valid? Arch 64 linker dash fuse dash LB equals. I need to figure that out. We've already tried those. Let's read what this says. It's for Rust, but it should still be applicable if they're using linkers. Bro, there's so many linkers out there, I think. Target ARch64 unknown. Pacman-Q. I think we can use this linker. Let's check. Let's look for sudo pacman-ss. What was the thing I had before? Let's paste it in there. Oh. Yeah, so let's just... Let me just fumble my keys a little bit. My sausage fingers, bro. Get this shit in here. Let's see if we have that. No, not thing. LB. Bro, this is too much. It's too much to look at. You know what? Screw that. CurseForge support? Oh, hold on. What the hell? Wow, the World of Warcraft's add-on updater. Wow. Let's go back to that. Let's get rid of this. We don't really need that right now. Nice. Nice. LLD. I wonder if we can use LLD for this. Oh, it said ARch64? Yes, good. I like LLVM toolchain. Please bookmark this site, bro. LLD is amazing. I like LLVM. It might sound weird, but I actually like it because I program D-Lang and it's the fastest one for D-Lang. It compiles the fastest code available in D-Lang. So instead, we need to do LLD. Where's that? We need to export this as LLD. And we need to pass somehow that it's gotta be Arch. Let me write down the whole CC thing too, just so I can be like, how do I export my compiler variable for DUB? Actually, yeah, no, we'll need this in the future. There'll come a day where I need to link something and I'm gonna be like, how the fuck do I do that again? So yeah, I should write it down. It's good to take notes on these things. Equals. Alright, got it. It's written down. Wow, linkers. I love linkers. Let's see, do they have Windows assembly? Windows support? Should have no Windows support, bro. Do not support Windows. Windows thin client is coming soon. Hexagon. Bro, what is hexagon? Hexagon. Computer. Architecture. Bro, I'm gonna get another weird thing. Qualcomm hexagon is a very long instruction word. Digital signal processor. And neural processing units? Wait a second, so you can compile code for hexagon? I mean, that makes sense, but like... Can I have a hexagon computer, please? Hexagon DSP. Optimized? Whoa. An architecture optimized for mobile, multimedia, and communications. Bro, I just discovered something cool today. That's really weird. Hey, that's usual though. We'll read about this weekend, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and save that in my documents, inside of documentation. Very nice. That's pretty cool. Qualcomm hexagon? I mean, Qualcomm is like almost evil or some shit. But, well, that's just me hating on Qualcomm, honestly. I can't say they're evil. I just hate them, so, Actually, they're not as bad as Amlogic, bro. Amlogic? Terrible. I don't like Amlogic. They do make great chips, but, like, they have the most proprietary chipset, I think. I think between them and Qualcomm, they beat Qualcomm, which is crazy. I thought Qualcomm was proprietary, but no. Amlogic is. Really, arcade chips are the only good ones, and then Broadcom. Broadcom is good too, but, like, that's only for Pi. And then Pis are really slow, honestly. You know, it would be easy if we just built it all on the other one. You know what I mean? Like, if I just went to my other computer and just started programming out the same code on there. Let's actually, why don't we just build the whole thing there? Why am I coding on this thing? Bro, what have I been doing this entire stream? This is kind of dumb of me. Because I can literally just do this and bring us over there. And then, let's see. CD, or actually LS, because I need to figure out where it's at. CD. Desktop? I mean, I have a desktop, apparently. My pops makes chips for Qual. I don't know if Qualcomm's bad, but I don't like Qualcomm. I'm not a fan of some of the things they make, or some of the things made with Qualcomm, maybe. I don't know. I've never actually had a Qualcomm development board, and I've never had any issues with it because I've never worked with it, but I've heard things. I've also seen things, like my Samsung phone, that I can't even backdoor my own phone, bro. God damn. Can't even jailbreak my own phone because of Qualcomm, bro. Alright, so now I'll just write the code here. ls d tools. Oh wow. CD into dlang. ls. I have source here. Dude, no, bootloading sucks. Oh, really? Yeah, I had no idea. What are we doing? ls. So yeah, I have a source already. CD source. ls. app.d. So I had already started working on it on here, but let's, I don't know why I didn't just do it on here. I think it would have been cool to, like, use, SCP to move stuff over, but also, is the quality better or, like, worse or what? I have no idea for you guys. Because I got the mouse to move faster by reducing the resolution of the capture card, so it's actually able to keep up with this, but it's probably going to be super blurry. I have I have low expectations. Actually, I bet I can fix that by just making the font higher resolution. I wonder if that's possible. Let's figure that out. Change font size Linux terminal. Let's see what... Oh, I'm a bot, guys. If you guys didn't know, I'm actually a bot. That's why I fail those verifications every time. Here's a Raspberry Pi tip. Ooh, this should be nice to read. Documentation. Help.ubuntu. Ubuntu sucks so bad it needs a help page to tell people how to do stuff. Oh god. Fuck that page. What a fucking shitty website. Here, let's go to asks.ubuntu. I'm sure this won't be bad. It's like you combine the two worst things. Stack Overflow and Ubuntu. Oh god. Menu at... Bro, who is this for? People who don't use the terminal? For example, extra, you need to go to create a file and then... So yeah, we'll just do that. Alright, we'll cd and... Actually, we'll just nano dot slash... Or actually, it's slash dot... actually, no, it's just dot x resources. Because this one should already be in there. X resources. And if I nano that, then it allows me to show you all the beautiful shit I constructed. Don't worry, we're gonna discuss how to rice things at a later date. Once I get into the ricing videos, it'll be awesome. Let's make it at the top so it's like the first thing that happens. Xterm. Well, actually, it'd be urxvt. And then you do that whole thing. urxvt font. And then you would set that equal to, hold on. I'll just show you guys the other screen now. As I'm about to increase the font size, hopefully to mitigate the negative effects of what I've done. Xterm Sublime. Oh, what? What font am I using? Can I just echo font? Oh, my bad. Wrong one. I was like I'm in Termux again, bro. Put a colon, and then, let's see. I wonder if this will actually work. Actually, I might even be able to just zoom in. Nope, there's no zooming. Let's see. Thinking. Let's see about that. Increase font size. Let's see if that does it. What the hell? Never mind. Oh. Maybe I can't do it with that. Let's see about the biggest font. Biggest font Debian. Okay, never mind. There's no results. Awesome sauce. Well, this is amazing. So URXVT font. We could technically set the font from here, I think, but that's ooh. So it says... Hold on, I think I figured it out. XFT. Terminus. And then size will equal something huge, like a good size 20, so that way it's bearable for everybody. No, let's go 24. Double it or give it to the next guy. Both. Boom. Alright, now I just need to redo it. Okay, so we'll run xrdb-merge now. That's backwards too. And shells bash. What the fucking shit? Oh god. I didn't just increase the font size, guys. I also increased the terminal size. Whoops. Oh, my bad, guys. Well, that was cool. That was awesome. Let's try 12. Maybe 24 is too much. Alright, let's save that. XRDB merge. Close that one. And that one. Now applications, shells, bash. Oh yeah. It's, I mean, slightly big, but yes, this is perfect. Now, you all can read what I'm typing. But, I don't like the font. So, ls/etc/fonts, I think is where it's at. Conf.d should be a, Oh, wow. Sans mono. Which one should we go with? We have it set to terminus right now, but, that's not really cool. Also, there's a lot of other fonts here. Oh, what the? It doesn't let me scroll down. ls/fonts. Conf.avail. That looks like it's a... It literally is a thingy. Deja vu fonts. Okay. Here's another one, conf.d or fonts.conf. The hidden one. Local conf. Oh, those are all configurations. Let me see if I can find the fonts folder. Users share / fonts, by the way. Okay. Let's go ahead and ls/user / share and fonts. That should bring us to what we're looking for. Wow, there's a bunch of these in here. CMap. Oh, Adobe? I don't like Adobe. Watch what I'm about to do, bro. I'm gonna just destroy Adobe, bro. Oh yeah, you know what? We don't need those fuck-ass bloatware fucking fonts on my system. Sudo rm-rf. Haha. You know, I like how it said I was gonna program, but now I'm just changing the font. Bro, what am I doing? I mean, we did a little bit of research, that's about it. Let's see about OpenType. Sounds like it should be an open source font. Oh wow, Nimbus Roman? What do you guys think about Nimbus Roman? P052 bold. I'm gonna go with P052 bold. I like open. Open fonts are cool. Let's go ahead and set my font now. I'm pretty sure this middle one sets it to P052. 5. XRDB merge. Oh, what? What? Can't open file /home /Heisenberg. What is it, write only for some reason? Oh, wait, what the hell? ls-a. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff I should probably remove from there. Like, for example, sudo rm-rf.crew cube Cagents. We're no longer using those things anymore. DUB's fine. I think the rest of that's okay for now, but we'll look into it later. I really want to get into like message passing interface so I can build my super quantum computer or game on it. We'll figure that out later. Maybe tomorrow we'll start with that. I just want to screw around with this terminal GUI stuff. Nano.x resources. It's super hidden. I think we just chose a bad font. XFT:font. The X font library. Oh, okay. Let's go to freedesktop.org. X font library contains Alright, hold on. Control C. I mean Control X, my bad. /ls/user/share font. Let's see if there's one for X11. Type 1. Let's go with Type 1. Type 1 fonts. Ah, look, here we go. We got some interesting ones. Nimbus Roman. URW. Oh. Dash bold. Control and copy. Bro, it makes not only the fonts bad, but everything else, bro. Nano that. Alright, go ahead and prepare for what I'm about to do. It's gonna be unholy. Paste. Control S, Control X, and then sudo. Do I need to just do that? What do you mean there's no ls dash? Bro, I just nanoed it in my own, in this directory. Maybe I need to sudo this. I didn't need to sudo that before. Unable to read file. I am a basic. I always just go to JetBrains nerd. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Is there not ls x resources? What if I cat it? Maybe it's wrong because it's not terminus. It doesn't like it when I don't use terminus. But I don't like terminus. Not a fan of the terminus font. Terminus. Wait, maybe it was wrong. I mean, I am in my home directory. Is it just this one? No such file or directory. What do you mean there's no such file as directory? We're gonna do ls-a, and we should see that there's X resources. Yeah, there is X resources. So why? Maybe it's properties or some shit. Remember, I'm gonna go back and renano my thing. I want to see what P510B or whatever the fuck it was looks like. Alright, so now XRDB merge. You know what? Maybe it needs that. XRDB-merge dots. Oh, it works here. Wow. Apparently didn't want to work up there for whatever reason. So, now what? Let's go ahead and applications, shells, bash. Oh, yeah. That's what I want to see right there, bro. Now we're going like some fucking weird shit, bro. Who would have thought that P50 would look like this? Alright, well that's a much better font. I'm not sure how legible that is, but that's like Skyrim font right there. Anyway, CD into my correct directory, which is desktop, /d/. Oh wow, I'm using that Skyrim font, bro. We don't need to go to source. Let's just go to there. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and nano./source. And then there should be just app.d. Why is there an app.d.swap? Oh god. PID 2056. Sudo pkill 2056. Alright, now I can nano it. Oh. H-top. Bro, even my H-top is in Skyrim mode. Oh, H-top in Skyrim mode, bro. Alright, where's my fucking thing at? Now, how do I pause it again? It was like, oh, just hit F1 for help, and it will give you how to pause. Bro, the spacing is killing me. Pause. Resume process of updates. Press Z to pause. Message bus. Bro, I can't see what these say. Skyrim, bro. My Skyrim font is crazy. URXVT. You know, we could just sudo reboot that shh now, honestly. That would be like the easiest way to terminate that process rather than trying to read this fuck-ass Skyrim fucking font. Wow. I can't believe I set out to do deprogramming and I've ended up setting my terminal font to Skyrim, learning about hexagon stuff, and then learning about some other stuff, and then doing some other stuff, and I want that font. Whatever that font is, that one's good. But I don't think it will look good because yeah. Alright, back to it. Let's open up the terminal. Shells. Bash. Ah yes, still in Skyrim font mode. Oh yeah, I love this. CD into there, and then sudo nano. What the hell? Bro, it's being edited by Vim? How is Vim in there? How is Vim persistent? Control C to cancel. ls app dot source. You know what it is? It's that in dot source there's a Vim instance, or ls dot source app.d sudo rm dash rf. Actually, it should just be f dot slash source slash app. Alright, now back to this one. Yes, go ahead and do it. Alright, I'm pretty sure that should have destroyed Vim, so he's no longer a problem. Unless we just have to uninstall it, but I have no idea. That's from a prior accident. So anyway, we need to import our terminal again. So import ars, arsd.terminal. Don't need to colon anything, and then we can do void main. Doesn't need anything. Auto terminal equals terminal, and then it was, how was it again? Terminal had like two things it takes. Console, oh, it just takes one. I'm thinking of GTK. GTK has two things it takes. Console dot, or console output type dot cellular, and then that's it. Oh. And then if we want to set the terminal color now, so we're going to try terminal.color. Let's try that out, terminal.color. And then do the same shit, 2 comma, it's 3. You know, I could have just sent app.d to here. And then I'll just put a while loop, while true. Just to hold it in this state, and then you just send a terminate to it. Alright, then we dub. Error, semicolon expected. Oh yeah, I must have missed a line. What are we looking at? Semicolon expected following auto declaration. What the hell? Oh, wait. Did I put a colon instead of the fucking... I imagine I just put a fucking colon there. Auto terminal equals terminal. That does look like a colon. Oh god. Now I'm putting colons everywhere? Bro, what am I doing? DUB in it. Cannot find program CC. Echo CC. Oh god. Bro, imagine this is Echo CC. There is no CC. Oh god. Wow. LDC2. I can't believe it actually has LDC2 on it anyway. I'm like, what the hell? So there is no linker. So let's just see what's available. Shells, bash. Please don't be a massive shell environment that I don't need to have massive. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and look through this thing. We might just go back to the other desktop and just forget about this library because it doesn't support many terminals and it only supports URXVT and a couple others. And I might undo the actual fonts or like comment it out, so I might actually do that as well. Because I don't like this whole font. I like the tiny one. I liked it when my terminal was small and normal. This is too big for me. Regardless, let's go ahead and figure out what to do really. Actually, I can't do any of that. Let's see. I was gonna connect my Wi-Fi or this device to Wi-Fi, but I'm not gonna do that. We'll just have to wait till I get more Ethernet cables because I'm currently using all of them now. So that's kind of screwed. Let's at least fix the font now. Nano.x resources. I'm guessing if you put a hashtag there, it'll just comment it out, and now it will return all of my stuff. All of my stuff should be the same as it was before. X resources. What? Invalid pre-processing directive? God damn it. Oh, it's a directive? I have received the message at this time. I wonder what it must say. Hold on, I will go check. It's from Club Penguin. Ah, he has billions of items. Thank you, Club Penguin. Anyway, xrdb merge.x resources, and then it says preprocessor. Whoa, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know about that. How do I comment stuff though? Is it like a slash? Oh, what the hell? Get out of there. XRDB Nano X sources. Hashtag, right? Like hashtag. What if it's like this? Or like, no. Like this? Comments. X resources. Bro, it's 4 a.m. already? That's crazy. Oh. Control S, Control X, and then try XRDB merge. Now it should have returned my font to normal. So if I ever want to go back to fucking Skyrim fonts, I can do that. Oh, that's pretty nice. I get to pick and choose my fonts. Oh, fuck. What the helly? Hold on. I think it didn't work. No. Nano dot XRC X resources. So technically the font's supposed to be orange, but for some reason it shows up as pink. And that's crazy to me. But then I was like, damn, this actually looks pretty good. I wonder if it just processes it through the thing anyway. I wonder if I can, what is the default? Default font X. No, I don't want to hear about X.com, bro. Bro, it just shows all X.com, bro. Lots of info on our treaty. Anyway, I'm just gonna remove this line. I mean, at least I've figured out how to do that, so if I ever want to do that. I think it's just processing it as a line anyway. Or maybe I'm doing the XRDB wrong. But anyway, applications, shells, bash. And it still wants to open it like that. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so we screwed up the font. URXVT, and then you can set a font. And you do that doing this, and you do XFT, and then you do this. And then you do XFT font. best XFT fonts. JetBrains mono. There's a font list. Ooh. Let's try Nexus, bro. And then there's a size. Was it size equals 12? Or was it just the number 12? Alright, merge it. Please not be stupidly large. I like that one the best, honestly. That one's the best one so far. That one's actually, like, nice. Like, this one's a good one, bro. Nexus, bro? I like Nexus font. That's a plus plus. For now, that will be fine with me. But I'll try out other fonts for a ricing video. We'll do a ricing video later today. Anyway, yeah, we have this thing set up. So, I mean, if we can cross-compile, but... DUB is my least favorite tool of the D language, and it's arguably the worst, in my opinion. Yeah, so it gives you access to so many things and makes it really easy to do stuff, but it only is really gonna do you good for, like, what's it called? If you're just working on x86. Otherwise, yeah. But also, my other issue is that I just didn't have a linker on my Arch 64 system, so I probably could have done it with that. Anyway, instead of let's see if we can reset this session. I think I can just type exit. Exit. See, that will exit the session, I think, and then echo our CC. Bro, how are my sausage fingers screwing this up today? Echo CC. There's nothing. Okay. Cool. So that should be good. CC is the environmental variable for that. CD. Oh, actually, I might be able to just scroll back through here. See where my CD command is. Alright, then DUB. Alright, so it's running, and then maybe I just need to do sudo pacman-s uxrvt. I don't want to have two terminals though. Actually, it's called Unicode XRVT. Never mind. Or am I mistaken? I thought it was called UXRVT. Shells. I have no idea. Okay. So it won't work with this, but maybe it will work with Alacrity. CD. And then CD into desktop slash. Maybe I should try out ncurses. I think I can do that technically because of bindings. TGUI. DUB run. It's just running. Nothing's happening. Okay. See, that's what I expected. Yeah. RSD is negative. It's a minus in my opinion. Just because I can't get it to work on most terminals. DUB terminal GUIs. It would be cool to mess around with those. terminal. Whoa. Look at this one. Terminal. Ah, yes. Contains everything you need to use the library. What library? What library am I using? The console's title can be obtained using the title property. Colors and formatting. Well, at this point I might as well just do it myself and use ncurse. Ncurses. There should be a introduction. In the olden days of teletype terminals, terminals were away from computers and were connected to them through serial cables. We'll do stuff with ncurses. Screw all this DUB stuff. I'll just make a new project. And then cd, cd dot dot mkdir new ncurse. cd ncurses. Alright. Let's go ahead and make a new file. Save as dtools ncurses. Here. Project.d. Alright. So that one was a bust. Suppose you wanted to print a line in color. Try typing this in your own console. Sure thing. Does nothing. Bro, that's what it did. Does nothing. I guess I use so advanced technology. Maybe I just shouldn't even bother with terminal GUI. It's kind of like not useful in my opinion. I don't know why you would want a terminal GUI. Well, actually, no, I do know why. But, I mean, I guess the other one kind of works, but, like, Let's see what ncurses even looks like, though. Like, what images... Bro, look at this shit. Wow. Terminal GUI. GUI. File viewer for Linux. Bro, why would you even need that? You can just do ls. I spend most of my time pretending to make projects and then not getting them done, honestly. Ncurses 3x. Mouse interfacing, debugging, compatibility with older versions. We made a video where I did try to do this one time. I was like, how do I make this thing? And I was like, you just do a while loop a couple times. Bro, ain't worth it. Well, what was the other thing I was working on? cd.ls. Let's see what other things are available for us to do. Like, maybe we can't find anything good to do, and we just gotta find something in here that I haven't worked on. Like maybe GTK. I haven't worked on GTK in a minute. Let's go ahead and work with GTK, actually. That's a good idea. Because that's actually something I know is gonna work. I'm pretty sure I already got that up and running, too. Sudo nano... Oh, wait, it's DUB. I don't like DUB. Let's... But I have it working, so we could just do some of this stuff. DUB run. Wow, nice. I got this to do that. I don't really know how to make it do much more. Open file, D tools. Let's go to GTK. First GTK, right? It's over here. Yeah, source app.d. So GTK has a bunch of fun stuff. You can do all of this cool stuff. I really don't know how to do object-oriented programming that well, but what I saw is that you could inherit stuff. Honestly, I don't really know much. Let's forget about all that stuff. Let's go to GTK documentation. GTKD documentation. Because it is GTKD, but you would use it in the same way as GTK. GTK focuses on... And here's the API reference. So you'd go down, there should be one called GTK. Right here. Excel group. So GTK though. We should be able to work with this. Oh yeah. I think you want to make a box is what we need to work on next with this. GTKD. The GTK widget arranges child widgets into a single row or column depending on the value of. So the first thing we're gonna do is make a new box. So we do main.init args. Who knows what string array args is? But anyway, this is like most extern libraries. You have to initialize them with args, or initialize them in some capacity. So box equals box. Technically, instead of doing all that shit, you can just auto. See, box is now a box. Main window is now an auto. And so on and so forth. Just fix that up and make that look a little bit better. Alright, back to here. So we have box, and then there's things you need to declare for the box. Like, things like, take me to the box. Alright, you would declare it with new box. You wouldn't just say box, you would use new box to declare a box. Because it is a class. GTK box uses single CSS node with name box. So this, oh, here's what we need. Constructors. In object-oriented programming, constructors are really important because it tells you what to put in. So this would be a pointer to GTK box. I'm pretty sure that's a D pointer. A C pointer would probably put it like in front of this. Pretty sure that's how I remember that being put anyway. Bool owned ref sets our main struct and passes it to the parent class. I wonder if I could parallelize this and then produce multiple GTK. Anyway, creates a new GTK box. Oh, you would put a GTK orientation. If you don't know what something is, just click on it. For example, GTK box. It says GTK orientation and it wants an orientation. But I don't know what orientation is, so I need to go click on this. Ah, there we go. This GTK box, GTK orientation, and that gives you this. So you would do GTK.orientation horizontal, I think, if you want it to go across the screen. So what is it? GTK orientation, or is it capital on the O? Oh shit! Oh. Ah, it's lowercase. GTK orientation. That's horizontal. Probably all caps if it was all caps. And then you need to pack stuff into the box. So the way a box works is you pack stuff in, so then you can get your button. See, if you do win add button, it doesn't display the button because it doesn't do it correctly. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And it has spacing as well. I guess I'll put 14. I have no idea what spacing is exactly, so the value of pixels, yeah, 14 would be fine. And then here we're gonna switch this out. We're gonna do button.add label. Button. Actually, we'll call this a red button. No, we'll call it nuclear option. I like that. The nuclear option. So then button.add new label, nuclear option. We're not gonna do that anymore. And then we need to do pack. So pack would be to just pack it in there. I'm pretty sure we can do button.set default size. I don't know if that applies though. We might have to do something fancy. Alright, so we make a box. Let's look through the functions. Void, pack. Ah, you'd pack end at the end of it. Pack start. I really don't like high-level libraries though. They're kind of annoying to me. Because a lot of the ways they do things just is like, why would you do it in this way? It's like so weird most of the time. Pack struct. Pack start adds a child to the box. Good, we're putting children in boxes now. I think we've really leveled up our game with this one. That's why they're afraid of programmers. Alright, so we'll do box dot pack start. Oh wow. Wowazooey. Computer doing good things right now. Box.pack starts. Ah, yes. Gotta do box.pack first. Oh, technically you could just do win.add new button. No, actually what we'll do is win.add box. So you do the window first, and then you do the box now that I think about it. The reason I have to do it in this order is because that's just how that's gonna be. Well, first thing first, you have to add a box to it. So you would do win.add. Let's go back and undo all of that. Let's actually swap this around. Copy that. And then paste it into here. Boom. And now we're cooking, because now I can do box.pack start and just pack buttons into my box. So now we'll do all of this, so we'll have a button for nuclear option. Very cool stuff. Adds child to a box. Packs with the reference from the start of box. Get structs. So there is no pack, just pack. So we just do pack start, I guess. Box.pack. Oh, but it needs to be declared separately. Probably. We probably do this part at the end, but do that part first. So we need to redo the auto new box thing. Auto box equals that. So just copy out new box and put it over there. Reason we need to do it this way is because then we just do win.add, and then you just have to put in box. And then you do win.show all, and then empty parameters at the end. And this is probably the shittiest way to do it. If you know GTK better than I do, then you probably know what you're doing and put everything into some fucking object-oriented slop. Me, I just hate object-oriented code. It just does not click in my brain. What the hell is this? I mean, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does click, and I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But then other times I'm just like, why does everything need to be object-oriented? Some things are better functionally. I don't understand. A lot of things make a lot more sense functionally. However, there's some interesting things with that. Like, obviously, there's places where you can't use classes. And it's like when you're writing like a C++ kernel or something like that. You don't really have access to all the... I bet you don't have access to the... See, I've never worked with C++, but I bet you don't have access to all the C++ library functions and all that until you initialize them in the kernel. So it doesn't make sense for kernel development to involve C++. That would just overcomplicate shit. However, after you have the C++ stuff initialized, then maybe it does. But that's the thing with D-Lang though, is that it has a garbage runtime as well. So that's kind of weird too. That's something I'm thinking of now, is that because D-Lang has the runtime, you kind of have to initialize that runtime, otherwise you're just not maximizing your usage of the language. Other than unless you wanted like a different syntax from C, basically. Otherwise, you just have to write the whole thing in D, which is basically C at that point. Like, you just rewrite it all in C and it would work. But 90% of like kernel development should be like assembly too. Like 90% of that early stages of the OS is assembly. I felt like most of like runtime was assembly. Although the way that the D runtime was set up was that it had you had to have a linker file, so you'd have an LB file, and it'd have functions that are like from similar to what you would do with a C++ one, so that way you can have the garbage collection, basically. I don't know how to explain it, but there was these two functions that constructors and destructors, that's what they're called. It was pretty interesting. We could look at that, but not today. We looked at it in a previous episode. So auto box equals new box, GTK orientation, and then boom. So box dot pack start widget child, so you add a widget to it. So you do false, false, and then padding. Interesting. Alright, let's do... box.pack start, and we're gonna add button, and then we're gonna do false, false, and then we should be do a comma. No. Do comma no padding 10. We'll pad it with 10 pixels to see what that looks like. And then we'll have another one called auto button 1 equals new button. Wow. We can literally just copy the same shit here. Also, they don't do anything unless you add stuff to them. We'll have to look at the button again, because I don't remember what it was. I'll have to look at the button. We'll just have 2 exit buttons. I don't know what's available for at this time. And then we'll do box.pack start again. Box.pack start. Pack end is what puts it all together. So then boom. We'll do button 1. Now we'll add box.pack end. Widget child expand adds a packs with the reference of end of box. So if we just want to add 2 buttons, I'll just switch this one to end. They basically do the same thing, except it probably adds an endpoint to it. So now we can just do when add box. I think it will work. There's one thing I'm missing though, and they don't have anything to do. So I mean, the buttons literally do nothing right now, but we just packed buttons in there. So I think it can be done with dub run. Or dub, just dub. Yeah, so it shows me what's wrong. We have a new unidentified identifier box. I think it might be GTK box. Let's go back. Unless this documentation is actually wrong. You know, it might be. We might have to do GTK.box. Or we have to import GTK box in here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Ooh, a gift. Many jewels. Damn. Thank you. Bro, I don't know what these gifts are though. Like, what do they do? I'm confused. But, thank you. Is this like a new feature I don't know about? Or actually, was gift like what is a jewel even? What measurement of what is this? I don't even know what it's measuring. 550 joules. This is Bitcoin clearly. Anyway, we need to import the box. Stay hydrated. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good advice though. I gotta stay hydrated 550 times now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm trying to figure out where O comes in the alphabet. Oh, T comes... I just noticed it on your channel. I'm new to this crap too. Oh, with what, GTK or D-Link programming? Oh, yeah, I have no idea what any of that is or does. Import GTK. I mean, D, I know I'm doing kind of. Box. This is a new library to me though. I didn't really know what I was gonna do today, so I just tried out looking at what I could do, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna try to fuck around with linkers again. I was messing with a linker earlier. The Joules thing in YT. I could actually look it up. What is what is YT Joules even? What is YT Joules? Or a digital currency and gifting feature? Oh. Well, damn. Thank you. Interesting stuff. I didn't know about that. That's, yeah, I kind of suspected it was something like that. Wow. I'm sure GTK is for Genome Desktop Utility thing. Yeah, I actually watched one of what is his name, Brody's videos, and it was like about GTK, and he said it was actually originally GIMP toolkit, which is kind of interesting to me. So this has been around for a long time, clearly. I mean, it's like a lot of libraries, like OpenGL has been around for a long time, and they're at 4.6 right now. I've messed with OpenGL. I mean, I can't really figure much out with OpenGL. I mean, the best I've gotten is the square thing. Do I even have the square thing? I might be able to show off what the square thing does. /d tools. It should be like fish. No. FT runtime. First GTK Fish AI tools FT runtime. When I was working on Fish AI, it was crazy too. If you haven't seen that. DUB run. This one was, whoa. Okay, it actually is still working. Bro, I got that far with OpenGL, bro. Isn't that cool? But, that's not super amazing. That's hypnosis right there. That's like the coolest thing I've done with GL, honestly. I could work on it more, but I'm never gonna really go back to GL. I feel like it's a pain in the ass, and I'm never gonna be able to really get to this again. This was a pain to make. The code for that is absolutely terrible. I've only used this for Lenovo Extreme tuning utility. Fan mode indicator on the taskbar stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, GL is pretty cool. Like, I'm sure people who like spend all day programming GL for like a game company, or like people who use GL for AI stuff. I know there's people out there who do use some GL for like AI stuff, because obviously you can interact with the graphics card through GL. I'm not sure how well that works, but I think GL4 is supporting that nowadays. But I'm sure people who like work with that stuff like really know what they're doing. A lot of it's actually a different language too, so if we ls, there should be shaders, and then in there is the shaders. So I could like sudo, no, I don't even need to sudo that, nano shader vert. There's also, well, CL is different. I think OpenCL is made by a different group. Kronos group makes GL though. Shader dots, vert. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't do this one, I think. Those were for something else though. think maybe it's frag. Maybe. I haven't. Frag. No. Background. Bro, I should really turn off the other computer. We don't really need it this stream at all. Yeah, it is working. There's some libraries out there for C# that let you interface with like GL and stuff, which is pretty cool too. Alright, just shutting that one down because I don't really need it running. Oh yeah. Bro, that fan is so powerful though. Especially with the new upgrades they did. Because I got the box super glued now so it doesn't leak any air. Why am I doing shader.background? What is that? Background. I think background might have been the one. Oh. Background.verbs. Never mind. Yeah, I don't really know. They have stuff in them. It just doesn't pop up in Nano. That thing's pretty interesting though. Let's see, where was I? So add box. So we do pack.end add box. It wants that, I'm pretty sure. So if we just run dub now. Oh shit. Oh, I have 2 buttons. I actually packed buttons in there. I didn't even use AI this time, bro. I used my brain cells and I got 2 buttons to pop up. Bro, I didn't even do any research into how to do it either. I just fucking popped 2 buttons out of there. Didn't use AI, didn't use research, and now I have the world's sloppiest code. So I wonder if I could make it so I could have it like really simplified instead of having all of this. Because right now we're just calling functions in a weird way. I think that's like the benefit of object-oriented programming is that you just create a class and you call it like window or something. And then you can just call that anywhere and be like class window and then, oh, pack end. Or like you could be like, how many buttons do I want today? So we'll do that now. We'll create a class called window. I'll try out the object-oriented slop and see if I can make a class for box render or render box. Render boxes. But what if you wanted 2 different ones? We couldn't just do a loop with that. You'd have to have like separate cases and be like if, and then have a, oh, you know what I could do? I could take an array that contains the name of what I want to put in there. So like, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I have some great ideas for how I'm gonna make this thing. Render boxes. Render box. Yeah, I have some great ideas. I have some great ideas going right now. I'm about to cook so hard. I'm gonna be cooking. Alright, so obviously this works, but it doesn't work the best. I'm not a fan of all of this. This is a lot of code. And we could do it way better. But we need to do some stuff, because if you make a new class, right? So you'll call auto the class, whatever you want to call your new class object or object, and then you'll make a new box. So then you have a new box, right? In this case, we are calling the class box with auto and then making a new box that contains all of this stuff going on. So if I'm doing that with a class, then I'll have to do things weirdly, honestly. I'm getting more messages, but I'll check those later. It'd be weird to do, I think. But I think it'd be not too hard. I know that there's so like Vibe D uses classes as well, but not to the same extent. This is heavy in classes. Classes are not something that are it's super abstract, so it's like hard to understand. But for some people, that's abstraction is so easy. It's like for like Java programmers, honestly. Like if you can program Java, you have to be like a god to do that. So all the Java programmers out there, as much as your code is spaghetti, you have to be a god to program that level of spaghetti. So that's crazy. But at the end of this, we have to add the class that contains all this. Oh, that's it. That's it. Wait, well, obviously box is the class. So if we're trying, but how does win.add handle a box from GTK box? Also, we could just have a function that does it. I really want to try out object-oriented programming, but I just can't find a real good use of it when I have functions that can do the same thing. For example, I could have a void make box, or actually, I could literally just have a function that I call and have it do, or not a function, literally just have a for each loop make boxes, for example. Although, to actually do that, you need to have names for them. But what if I want 2 boxes and then we would need to switch at the end of it. So yeah, I'll just create a function for this. Void make buttons. So then it's going to take a number of buttons, int number, so that will make buttons. Alright, that'll be cool. So that will be a good logical challenge to focus on. And then we'll have to do it, we'll start from the bottom and work our way backwards with programming this one, I think. Because a lot of times I work down, but I think in this case, working from the bottom up is where to start. Because we already know one thing that's going to have to apply, is that there's going to be a pack end at the end of it. So obviously we're going to have a for each loop. That'll be the first thing, that'll be the start of it. For each is the beginning of how we're going to start it out. So for each, and then I, and then we'll do that. So that creates a counter basically, but for each I of int, or of 0 ... to number, and then we can do, so for each is really simple. All you have to do is initialize a, one of these, and then have some kind of slice. This should count as a slice. Now, we have to handle the cases in this, or like have, what are they called? There's a word for these, but it's like, testing? No, not testing. There's a fancy schmancy programming word. I just can't think of it. Anyway, it's just gonna be handling what it is. Or, what is it? I don't know. If I equals the last number, so how do we determine if I is the last number? Well, if I equals number, I think that's literally the last one it could be. So if we have number 10, since it starts at 0, it will count up to 10. If I equals number, this has to happen at the end after everything, but this should be the first thing we test for, is if I equals number, and then we just do box.packend, and then the name of button. Box.packend. Button. And obviously you can get more advanced than this, which we're going to do eventually, but box.packend button. Or actually you would do I. So you would use I to create your buttons. Basically you would have a button that's literally called 1. It will take a number and literally make it the name of the button. But that will still work. It will still create a button. Now that will make it harder to debug, I think, but I mean, I don't care. What am I going to do? Make this into something that's going to be polished? Hell no. None of my shit's actually good enough to make it anywhere. It's literally just boilerplate or like me just playing around and see what I can learn. I like learning, so 0 dot dot number. Me making this video is basically me showing everything I do and publishing it anyway. If I equals number, box.packend of I. So for each number, for each from 0 to number, we need to do box, and also include an else statement. So if it isn't that, for whatever reason, then box.pack start, and then do button. And then we can add in all of our other stuff too. Sometimes with these things, people will create functions to, like when I was working on the kernel project that we were working on at one point, we had a bunch of these kind of helper functions inside of the code to basically create the main function for actually putting a word or letter into the existence on the screen, into volatile memory, basically. Which would be like something core.volatile is the one that handles that. So we can get rid of box.packend now. So then at the end of that, it needs to add box. So box needs to be exposed. This is basically just a way of initializing box. But the problem is, if we have box.make or void make buttons, the class for box exists. And to do that, you kind of need to initialize it as a class now that I think about it. Because the original programming uses classes, now I need to create a box, and I also need a new class called box creator. I have no clue. Oh god. But we can add my own function in there to generate boxes. That's what I do now. The problem is, there is no object box unless we return the class box. And the only way to do that is by making a new box, or by adding this as a box constructor, which, yeah. Anyway, so this is to make buttons, but we also could use this to do the box. So we would have we'd probably use a pointer to box. I bet we can do it that way to avoid using any type of stupid classes and goop, gross objects-oriented programming. So I think that'd be a great way of doing it, use a pointer towards our actual thing. There's two ways of doing pointers. There's the ones that end in star, and there's the ones that start with and. The ones that start with and are the function pointers. Ones that end with star could also be a function pointer, but it really depends. I don't remember exactly how that works. Because usually it ends in a star. Sometimes it starts with a ampersand, which is interesting. So you would do that, and you could do button.add new label. We'll take a string array, which is to say it's an array of car arrays, basically. String array dynamic, and technically, if we're gonna initialize a number, we don't even need to do that anymore. So to make buttons, we could just take a string array and just do for each from the string array. Now we just need to figure out the end, and that'd be if string equals the length. So this makes it even simpler. Names button names. Alright, so now I have to do that every time, so copy that and paste that to there. Technically you could do that where it's like a dot, but I don't think that's gonna work. Now we'll have a name for each name of name, since you can technically still use I for some kind of counter, so that's an interesting thing. You would do I comma name, so it will initialize a counter as well as the other thing. And then if I equals button names, actually, wow, how wonderful. That's really useful of me to middle click there. Congratulations, number. Wow, middle click doesn't work the same way it does on the other one. Button names. This is good. So if I do button names, now I have my button names initialized. But you still need to end it with the name. This means that you can technically now name all of your buttons now. Cool. But it still needs the initialization code, so it will basically have to create a new button and then add it to the box. Which I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that. So button names, and we want it to point to box maybe? So I mean, GTK box pointer or something? Box pointer. We could just do box and then box name. I think this works, and you just throw the box name in there, and every time it accepts a box name here, or the box type, it will just remember, oh, it's a box type, okay, that's cool. Then put it into box names. However, now this needs to be box name pack end. So it probably would have been smarter to just name it box, honestly. But I would like to be more verbose and, you know, make it look cleaner so you know what everything is and does. There we go, so box name. Alright, so that's good. I have box name. That's good. I've done it. Now all I have to do is put in the button. So first I'll initialize a box, then I just have to do all of the packing for it. So we'll do button.add, and then boom, new label. Oh right, so that's the whole thing. So it adds a new label and then calls it creates a new button. Now I'm not sure how well this is gonna work. I'm pretty sure objects aren't necessarily controlled by scope guards entirely. I think you can add scope to kind of control them, and then do scope and then include the deconstructor, for example. So I think this will be fine to include them in this function. So then we have button.add, new label, and then label name. Technically, we could just do button name. Auto name equals new button. Alright, so that's good. And then we would just do auto new label name, maybe the index of name, so like counts up. But honestly, we could just put the name in here and just have it that as, because it is a string. I'm not sure what's gonna stop me from adding a new label of the same name to it. I mean, like, what could possibly... I'm sure it's gonna throw an exception at compile time. It'd be like, oh, a new button, that's the button name. Congratulations, the button name is also gonna be name. So now it adds the label as name, labels the button of name, and the only reason we have I is to check that. This is way more effective. So now all I have to do is call my function called makeButtons. And we're gonna do make buttons. Nice. I like this. I have a new message at this time. I need to check it later. This is amazing. We need a string for button names, so I could probably just do this. We'll name the first one somebody sending me a lot of messages. Good. Stuff is cool. Somebody really wants me to check my messages right now. Oh, the box is box. So we're gonna check what the name of box is. Hello. Comma. Hello, colon, colon. Ah, yes, now I will say, colon, colon after every word, bro. Is cool. Good stuff is cool. This will be my 3 buttons. Good stuff is cool. And now we'll be able to create 3 buttons, I hope. If everything works correctly. I'm actually gonna have to check what people are sending me. Bro, some guy has sent me a message. Who's sending you so much messages? The Penguin Club. Club Penguin, bro. That's who's sending me so much messages right now. Bro, I can't believe Club Penguin's sending me messages after Club Penguin died. Oh. So yeah, that does box. So it takes box and puts it in things. People have told me this is how Linus Torvalds would name his things. He would name it box. But it makes sense, right? Box makes sense. I would agree with that. Box makes sense. But I just need to put box here. So box is box. And that's how that works. Okay, trust me. Hopefully that works as a type there. So, I mean, the name makes sense. Now make buttons, and then once it gets to the last one, it will do that. So it runs this check first, and it's like, if it's an I equals button names, where this, oh, dot length, by the way. That way it doesn't exceed, that, because otherwise it would just keep going. I learned how to lockpick. Yeah, I tried that one time too. I've tried it many times. I've only ever done it one time, and it was like with a bike lock, and I spent like 5 hours. I was like, bro, I can't do this shit. I was using paper clips. I was like, god damn. Club Penguin sending me too many messages right now. I actually probably should switch to this tab, so that way I'm not, like, in there. So that way I don't accidentally expose their information or anything. Alright, here's the failed. Make buttons.name is already defined. Oh, wait a second. I can't use the literal of name. I wonder if I have to point to that. Maybe I should mute that, actually. You know what? Now that I think about it, I should just, probably go for, like, 3 hours. There. That will fix all my issues now. Enough of Discord pings. Variable name is defined here. So let's start with that one. We're gonna just point to name. Auto name equals new name. But what if it was a pointer? Like, for example, if I do pointer? No, you can't do a pointer name. Can't point to name? God damn it. How do I accept the name literal? Button name. But name is declared. How do I... Wouldn't I just... Maybe I do that? That works? What, auto doesn't work there? Well, maybe because it's a pointer, it's already a type. Did you mean class button? Unidentified identifier. Button. Where's it at? Button.add? Oh, it should be name.add. This is interesting of a problem. I've never actually had to use, Well, actually, wouldn't it just be... Technically, that would just be one of the strings. Maybe if I just use the I, so I could do like button names of I instead. So now it just takes the... doesn't even do the weird stuff. And then you would do equals new button name. Well, actually... Hold on. I guess you would just do button, but then every time it reinitializes button as a new button. That's weird to me, but okay. I think it will work. And then just do button.add every time. And then destroy button. I hope that works. Although, I bet if we pack a bunch of buttons in there without incrementing the names, I guess we could try to use I and make that the button. That's an option. This is a really weird problem to create, but I created a problem by trying to... Oh? I now have 3 buttons. That didn't take very long. Check that out. I made 3 buttons in GTK using my own function. Whoa. Look at that thing. I got 3 buttons, bro. That's exactly what I was trying to make. Although... it didn't add a label to them. So, I have no idea what the labels are for these, but okay. Now let's look at the button types that are available. No, that's the wrong one. Where's the correct one? The correct one. Get rid of that one. Is this Visual Studio? No, this is Kate. I'm using GTK though. This is a GTK, so GIMP toolkit thingy, and it allows me to do stuff. Although I don't really know what it means anymore. I think it's just GTK now. Wow, I got 3 buttons. Look at this. I can click on them. I can track button clicks. Maybe I could make a web browser in GTK, or my own terminal emulator. This is actually crazy though. I managed to get it to do stuff. I like how... I'm not gonna say that, I'm gonna keep that one to myself actually. That's something I don't know about. Ugh. Looks like VS Code. Tough. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Open source VS Code? Maybe it's just because everything's dark. But yeah, it's Kate. Wow. Whoa. Hold on. Alright, attempting to add widget of type GTK labeled to as GTK. GTK can only contain 1 widget at a time. It already contains a widget of type GTK alignment. What? Bruh. No GTK label. So new label, and it wants name. But it can't contain more than alignment. What on earth? Wait a second. Also, this is wrong. It has to be a type too. So, technically we could create a struct for this instead and use a struct array. So what we could do is create a struct called, button maker. So button maker struct. And then we could have that basically put in the stuff. So if we do button maker the struct, it contains a string button name. That's going to be the most important one. Interesting, he uses Chromium instead of Firefox. Yeah, I mean, I like Brave browser. It comes with the Quen 235, and I'm like, bro, Quen 235, bro, what the hell this for? Google Gemini has nothing on Qwen 235. That is the max one. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I can do unlimited AI on this thing, and it has the Qwen 235. I'm like, what the hell? Noticer of these things. Today we haven't really used it too much. Actually, I don't think I've used it at all today. Well, actually, no, we used it that one time to do that one thing. Today we've been good, though. I've actually achieved my goal today of reducing my AI consumption by at least most of the video. I have no idea, though. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. For button name, we can include the button name, and then we can include whatever goes here. Which I forgot what that was. It's some kind of thing that we need to initialize. So that should be in this one. If we go back to here, GTK box. But let's go to button, because GTK button's what we need right now. That's what I've been meaning to look at. So button, scroll down, should have a constructor string label. You can also do, oh wait, you could do a string. Oh, wait a second. What? Containing a label. So instead of doing button add label, I could literally just do string label. You still need to do a mnemonic, which would be cast icon size, I think. No, but we can change that. Also, technically, when I made this, I was dumb because you can just enumerate that. So even though I'm casting it to a GTK icon size, like, this is reverse enumeration. So this is how you would enumerate in reverse. Instead of using the enumeration correctly, you take a number and translate it to the icon size using a cast, and then use the fucking bullshit that I just did, bro. Oh my god. So button name, and then we'll figure out the rest of that in a second. Actually, we can get rid of this whole struct idea. That's really irrelevant now. What if I just want to have labels on my things, bro? Label them. So bool mnemonic. The other one the one I was using was GTK button, pointer, and maybe, oh, probably one of these ones. There is a lot of constructors here for this. I think it was maybe it was this one. But you have a lot of options for constructors for this. So if you want a label and then a bool mnemonic, I don't know exactly what this one is. Maybe true. Like, maybe it's true. I get it might be true. Oh yeah, my favorite programming language says it might be true. We'll go with true. I think that will work. It's good stuff is cool. Alright, now we can add in things that they do. For example, what if we made the button good, print 10,000 files into the current directory or something like that? Or actually, what if we add a size customization? We have a lot of options to work on now. Like, what if we add a struct for button names? So, struct. Well, actually, though, here's the thing, is that if we make a struct, we're going to have to append what we're creating to it. Unless the struct creation is handled in here. Well, I could do that, though. Although you would want to have... That would be pointless, though. We should just... No, there's ways to do it. So, it'd be like multi-function techniques of doing it. Where you use multiple functions to create the main function, but I don't think that's necessary. If I want to create the correct size for my box. So this one has new box, and it has 14. These all have 14 on them as well. But what if I just said, let's make those 7. So like, we'll have to have an int. Int size. And then replace those with size. Like, this is the simplest way to do it. However, I don't like having to call 3 different things. I mean, or having to put 3 different things in my call. It's like too much for me, bro. It's gonna fry my brain after a second. I have like 30 seconds until my brain fry. Wait, where do I even make buttons? Oh, right here. Let's do size 3 buttons. I want to see what those look like. 3 pixel buttons. Good stuff is cool. Now we can also do the padding. No, there is no padding. There is no cannon. Awesome. So we're good. We finished all of that. I want to do one last thing before we end today's episode. Because we've made buttons. This is actually pretty impressive. I didn't think I'd make it this far without like actually putting in effort, really. This library makes it really easy to do stuff though. Now I kind of understand how to make stuff in it. And looking at the documentation is really easy as well. We'll be doing a lot more of this. This is something I can work on for a couple episodes. And then until we get to the weekend when I can do my Arch Linux speedrun. As I've teased. I prefer the word taunted. I've taunted you all that I'm going to do it. Yeah. It's evil. Auto button equals new button. Name and then true. So that creates the button of the name and true. What if I wanted to add something else though? Like, what if I take box and then... But the problem is that this ends box. So what if I didn't want to pack end box? We'll add a variable called is end. We'll call this bool is end. Yeah, this is great. This is like what like professors do. They're like, well, what if I didn't want to do this? Well, what if I, bro? Like literally, that's what like anybody who teaches programming does. They're like, well, what if it's not this? Well, what if it's not this case? I mean, they're not wrong to be like, it's not if it's not this case, but it's so stereotypical now. I'm becoming the stereotype for somebody who's teaching stuff, and I'm not even teaching stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just asking myself the question of whether or not this is the one that I want or not, or how the hell I want this thing to work. Very wonderful. Else if it would just need to have an and statement, but it's gonna have to check one of these two first. So and works by running the first check or the second check if the first one returns true. So if is end, then it checks this. That's all I would need to check. I wouldn't need to do an else if or anything, because if it's not end, we already know the answer. It's gonna be else anyway. So, and technically, you only need to check this at the end of the loop. So I think if we put is end, because it's a bool, I don't need to do any real checks on here. Oh wait, but we don't do that. We need to put parentheses to protect this. So then go and. So that will make is end. So now if it is the end, actually, because it, oh man, I can't use a question mark. Man, I really want to use a question mark is in my is end question mark. That'd be the ultimate meta joke right there. Actually, that's not a meta joke. That's not the definition of that word. That'd be the ultimate prank right there. Is end question mark. Oh, you know what it could be? Maybe maybe is end. That's the ultimate programming of all time I've ever seen. maybe is end. Probably. And of course, if you initialize this as true, it will do this when it hits the end. And it only needs to check that if this first one. So obviously it's gonna check this every time, but it doesn't have to check this one every time. So that's a bunch of checks out of the way. Now here's an interesting thing about this. I wonder what it's doing at the assembly level, because I'm betting that when you're like down in that level, I think what it's doing is actually creating the if statement is just probably what's the words? I don't know the assembly words, but I can kind of think of it as like if you're programming one of those Windows batch files, bro. Which that's where I started. What am I doing right now? Programming a GTK thing. I'm making a function that creates buttons for GTK. So it creates 3 buttons, and I'm basically like, yeah, I could add another thing to my function to make a bunch of buttons inside my box. But anyway, like I think at the assembly level, what it's doing is creating a label and then going to it, like how I used to program batch files when I was in like high school, which I had no idea what I was doing. I just like Googled it and was like, oh, batch file programming. Now I can make batch files to screw around on the high school bullshit. That was what I did in high school. I would just take business classes and then not do the business course, and then I would just program instead. Because programming is awesome. I would just do batch files in there. Do all my work in 5 seconds and then just batch files. But anyway, button names.length maybe is end probably. We could make this better, I feel like. I feel like this could be a lot better of a joke. Like possibly, maybe, could possibly, maybe be, B is end probably. Bro, this name right here. Straight and to the point if I've ever seen it. God damn. I'm a programmer. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm gonna send that to my friends right now, bro. We'll put true, because we know it's gonna be true. Although, if this and that, but like the way this probably works is it creates a label, and if it, or it creates a check, then it's like, well, if this is true, then return to this label for this thing, and then probably check this thing too. I bet that's how that works. That's probably how that does it. I wouldn't know though, because I haven't really looked at the assembly, and I don't really want to try to read assembly through a hex editor. So let's try if this is false now. Let's say it's false, right? It should still render a box, I think. Oh. Wow. So you don't even need a pack end, but that probably is a bad thing. I think you probably should have that. It must have something to do with garbage collection or something along those lines. What does this say? Oh. We don't want that right now. Anyway. Interesting. Maybe, could possibly, maybe, or could possibly, maybe be end, probably. I like that name right there. If this and could possibly, maybe be end, probably. We know the answer is it's false here. But if it's false, then it doesn't. What if I run pack end twice? Like, what's the worst that can happen if I were to try and pack in? Like, let's say I want to pack another button. So like I create a new button, right? Like I'm like, oh right, because all I know how to make is buttons, by the way. let's do auto label equals new. Oh, don't do caps. Label equals new label, and then we just pack it into the box as well. What if we did a box full of boxes, and we make a box full of boxes? So auto label equals new label, right? So new label. Let's do it. Label, and then label Greg. I don't know, that's the first thing that pops into my brain. So new label, and if that's true, it should just do pack.end or box.packend. So now when I do this, I shouldn't be able to add it to box anyway. Box.packend, and then label, which needs to be done label, comma, false, comma, false, comma, let's give it 14. And then save, and then dub it again, which should hopefully throw some kind of exception. Now I have Greg. Good stuff is cool, Greg. Ah, yes. But it ran pack end twice. So what does pack end do that pack start can't? What's the point of having pack end if it just packs end? Maybe I could just run pack end the entire time and get rid of this case handling. But I really want to keep the could possibly, maybe, be, end, probably. I really want that. That's the most British thing I've ever heard. I don't know why it reminds me of something British, but it sounds like something that somebody who is British would probably put in their code. A British programmer would probably do that, honestly. But maybe I'm leveling up my game. Maybe I'm gonna be on the level of great programmers. Who knows? I don't know what packend does though. That's my real question now. Box.packend. Because you could just box.packend the entire time. Oh, by the way, this it's weird because it like a lot of websites that have like documentation, they use Google Chrome API or whatever it is. Widget child, expand, fill, and padding. What is the purpose? Adds a child to a box, packed with a reference to the end of box. Oh, wait a second. I understand now. This is all irrelevant because it's the order in which it's placed. Oh, okay. Never mind. I take back everything I just did. You don't need an I, technically. So let's redo this because it's wrong. This doesn't have to do anything with the packing. It just has to do with the order you pack it in. So for example, if I just had this, then it just has a default or if could possibly be maybe, so if this is true, then it will pack in reverse. And then this one will pack in the other direction. So let's just put reverse order, question mark, colon, exclamation point. Alright, this is good. Makes me think of that, like AI is hallucinating, question mark, colon, exclamation point. Bro, that we trolled the AI, bro. So yeah, if we pack start here, so that should be true. That will basically mean if true, do this. So if could possibly, maybe, be, and probably returns true, then it will pack it in reverse, I think. Uh-huh. That looks pretty reverse to me. What if I pack start after I pack end, bruh? Box.pack start. I mean, it was already at the beginning, so I don't know why it's, but it also put that first, so I'm like, bruh, DUB? Will that put it on the other side now? Greg. Is cool. Stuff good. Yeah. Next episode, we'll add stuff to the buttons to make them do things. But I'm making my button API for this thing so good. Whoa. GTK, bro. I can't wait for GTK 6 to drop, bro. Everybody talk about GTA 6, but GIMP Toolkit 6, I'm gonna go hard. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. We'll do more of this tomorrow, but I have to go.